Well, welcome everyone to the High Plains Huddle, and I'm here today with not Julian Reese. I've got Tony Rocha here from sixmanfootball.com, so we're going to talk a little bit six-man football today. But hey, give a shout out to Plains Dairy, as well as L4 Media and Warrior Garden Studios for really helping put this on. And we're kind of excited because not only do we have strawberry milk, we also have the blueberry milk. And I've been telling you guys about it, so we're actually going to try this on air. Have you had it? I haven't.
I've never had it.
I don't even know. I didn't know they made it. So we're going to give it a try. Tony's already down half of a chocolate milk over here.
That's my favorite.
Because that's his favorite. And the guys off screen are like, wait, where's ours? It's the advantage of being on the screen and not behind the scenes. All right, well, let's give it a try. That's pretty good.
I think it'd go good with cereal. But yes, chocolate's still my favorite.
All right.
So.
Well, there you go. Good job, Plains Dairy, trying that blueberry milk today. Hey, we're excited to bring you another show today. Recap week 4. Lots of football going on. But before we get into a lot of that, I really wanted to bring sixmanfootball.com on, Tony's group, because I don't think it gets enough press. Having lived in Groom for as many years as we did, I've done games with Tony, actually broadcast before. I think you and I did Garrett's last football game. Your son, who's sitting right over there, by the way.
I still think they'll bring him on, but they don't want to. But, okay, so we're Sixmania, and
Sixmania. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, what we do is we cover the 6-man games, and the way it got started, the guy that started the company, his name is Charles Parks. It goes by Cowboy Parks, and a lot of people knew Cowboy. And when we started doing our broadcasts and our games, we wanted to kind of jump in with somebody because there was Sixmania and then there was somebody else. And, Cowboy said, he goes, I'll take y'all. And so we did. The following year, he had a lot of health issues, both him and his wife, and he called us up and he says, hey guys, y'all want to buy it? And so I had a discussion with my partner, Tim Case, and then of course Garrett, my son, and Matthew Bone is over here also here on the side, and he says, guys, y'all want to do it? And we said, yeah. So we made him an offer. He goes, sold, and this is year 3, I believe. Yeah, it's the 3rd year.
Oh, wow.
So that we've been doing it. We got guys down in Eden, Miami, Oasis Canyon, Woodson. We got a couple of photographers that like to go around. So, but yeah, since I was moved to Groom back in 2000, I was 25 years of watching 6-man. So I'm enjoying that. I like it.
So how long have you been doing? So you have Tim Case with you there in Groom.
Yes.
Y'all kind of got labeled as TNT. It's a TNT package a while back.
And we're going to give a shout out to somebody that Chris will remember, but Miss Lisa Roskins. Lisa got it started, both her and, God rest his soul, Coach Tony Dotson. And they came up to me and they said, we heard you used to do broadcasting, that you were on the radio. I said, yes, I did. Well, we want to do an internet broadcast of the games. And again, Garrett, Matthew, I think Garrett was a sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I said, sure. And I did my first game. I did it by myself. After the game was over, I'm like, Done that. I get it. It was too much. And I was like, I need someone to feed off of. Come Tim Case, he comes in. And I tell you what, Chris, it's really, really tough, trying to find that one person that you kind of like, you and I did it. And we had, we did very well.
Yeah.
Tim, he's the type that if I say something, if I stop, he'll jump right in, and vice versa. So, year number 12, we've been calling the games, and somebody said you ought to get a little moniker. I'm like, how about TNT? And they go, what is that? Tim and Tony. That's as simple as we can get.
Yeah.
So that's what
that's
we
good.
are.
Well, Lisa Roskins is actually my sister-in-law that Tony mentioned, and
Yes.
I've told many people a lot of the program that she started there from an audio-video production perspective. They did news there at the school. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of different things. Is as good as anything at any school in the state.
Yes.
And that's a 6-man school. And a lot of those guys went on to win editors awards at the state level. as well as lots of awards for the program. So
And kind of go back on that first year too. That was also the year Groom went to state. So not only was the first year that we started broadcasting, then we got to go all the way to Jerry World. So that was really fun.
which was Miss
Enjoyed it.
Roskin's husband.
Yes, was the coach. That's right.
So my brother-in-law, that was the first and only year that he coached and made it to state. So I said, you might as well quit on top, right?
There you go.
And that's
Yep.
exactly what he did. So that's a lot of fun. Well, we're going to get to some six-man games here in just a second. I'm going to recap a couple of games. Feel free to chime in here. I want to hear about Groover. You've got
Okay.
some folks
Yep.
down there. But so one of the big games we talked about last week was Bushland and West Plains. The reason that was kind of set up as a big game is West Plains had never beaten Bushland.
Right.
So 3 years in a row. This is their fourth year. But you got a really hot West Plains team, ranked number 2 in the state, destined to probably clash with Salina in the semifinals at some point because Salina's number 1, they're number 2. So as expected, although I had to pick Bushland because
You've got to.
I got to pick Bushland,
Yeah.
but they came in and man, Reed Macon threw for 5 touchdowns. 3 of those to number 3, Kane White Tinsley, and they won that game 45-0, and it was just all West Plains. Their defense played well, their offense played well. They're just a really hot football team right now.
And and I hope they keep it kind of level-headed. Don't think we're number 2 in number 2 in the state, and every week we're going to beat somebody. Take it one game at a time, and I think they'll do all right.
Yep. The other big game, which I wish Julian was here because his son had a great game, was Paladura versus Amarillo High. There were 7,000 people at that game, according to the stats that I read. But Amarillo High comes in ranked number 10, but they take a loss, 35-14. Deuce, or Julian Reese II, he accounted for a rushing touchdown and a defensive interception. They had a trick play by one of the running backs and added another 68 yards rushing. So PD just really starting to pick it up. There's some great players on that team.
There is, and like we heard, since 2000, did they say that was the fourth time that PD has beat Amarillo High? So wow.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Perryton and Hereford had a little bit of a showdown. Hereford comes out 38-28 with that one, but Cooper Schilling threw for almost 300 yards and had 4 touchdowns. So great job up there. The other big game I really wanted to talk about was just the blowout that Panhandle had against River Road. I suspected they would win, but I flipped, I always pull up Dave Campbell's football and I flip up to see what the scores are at halftime. It's 63-0 at halftime, and I'm like, oh my.
And I grew up in Panhandle, and Broxton Robinson, he's a phenom. I mean, he's for real. Poor River Road couldn't stop Panhandle. I mean, I'm sure that Coach Ashley, he's like, okay, guys, just run the play, don't try to do anything, and still, regardless, you're trying not to score, but then you get to score, and I mean, what can you do? And I'm going to kind of stop there because when we talk about Groover, something when I visited with my brother-in-law yesterday, what they did.
Well, let's just move right into Groover then. Let's talk about Groover.
Groover played. Clarendon had to go up to play Groover, up in Groover. My brother-in-law, Kurt Habither, is the head coach. And I asked him, I said, how was the game? He said, he just smiled. He goes, well, we got to a point and we ran the clock. They didn't stop the clock. He says, we were trying not to run the score up. That's not what we want to do. He said, but when you take your starters out and you get your young guys in there, them young guys want to also prove a point. And so they did. But, Groover last year, they made it to the semis, got beat, but they're looking to trying to get back in the Jerry World again.
Yeah. Well, Randall continues on. They're 4-0 now. They took out Legacy 27-0. Figured that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Wichita Falls Legacy there. And Canadian continues to roll as well. And let's see if I got any other games. I think that hits the high points for the football. But let's talk about six-man. Who's what this year? Who's the teams to watch out for? You got 2 divisions like everything does.
Yeah, in the Division 1, it's Gordon. And here's a little thing about Gordon. Last week, Gordon played an 11-man game. They played Thorndale. So they played 11-man. And one of the things that all the people were talking about is like, okay, Gordon's going to play 11-man game. What if they get beat? They have a 33-game winning streak. Will that count, or does it stop?
Oh, interesting.
Well, guess who won? Gordon. Gordon beat Thorndale, so there you go. The streak continues. Gordon is number 1 in Division I, and Jayton is on a roll again. Jayton's number 1 in Division II, and again, if I was to make a bet, but those are going to be your 2 state champions in 6-man, Division I, Division II.
So talk to us a little bit about 6-man. 6-man's a little bit different. The field size is different.
It's
the rules are different, right?
The field is 80 yards long, 40 yards wide. You got to have 15 yards to get a first down. When you score, it is 6 points. Kick the extra point, that's 2 points. 2. Okay. Last week there was a game. I'm trying to remember who it was. Craig Sperry, Press Pass Sports. Used to be the Happy Sports Network. It was the Claude McLean. That's what it was. Claude McLean game. So it was tied, and he said he finally got to see a 4-point field goal. So when you kick a field goal, normally in 11-man, it's 3 points. 6-man, it's 4. That's how Claude beat McLean last week. They kicked a field goal, and he said, I finally got to see a field goal. In all these years, he's been doing 6-man games. And, of course, Groom played Claude, and
it didn't turn out that
wasn't pretty.
Hey, but I did go on camera last week. I did pick Groom to win that. I even said I think they'd pick it up in 45. I was completely wrong. So it was the other way around. We'll talk about that 45. So you do have a mercy rule.
So there is a mercy rule. If any team is ahead 45 points at the end of the first half, the game is over. If it's not, any time after the third quarter, any team that is ahead 45 points, the referees will stop. And here's something I want to mention, Chris, and see what you think about this. But it kind of surprised us. I know it surprised the guys over here. All of a sudden, we have the 2-minute timeout.
So you have it in 6-man.
There is 6-man too, and all of us were like, "Excuse me,
yeah,
what?"
That's new this year.
Okay,
yeah, in the end of the second and at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah, it reminds me of the 2-minute timeout. Like they have in the NFL. But we all kind of like look. I remember Tim and I looking at each other and went, "I don't."
Yeah, that's
new
how
to us.
The first game it stopped, and I looked over at Mark and I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
2-minute timeout? Yeah, same thing." So,
and I don't know why. Do you know? I mean, I don't know why they have it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just going to mimic others. So, so if you look back, I remember a game years ago. Follett played in Groom, playoff game. I want to say the final score of that game was like 119, something like that. It was the highest scoring game I've ever seen, but it was over 100. What's the highest scoring game you've called?
The McLean, the first year that they went to state and won state. McLean and Milford. And Garrett, you need to help me out, remember the score, but I remember because they're at Jerry World, they did have 100. So it did pop up. Because we looked at, Tim and I looked and I'm like, oh, there it is. It shows it. And, McLean, forgive me, I mean, we were there calling that game, but that's the highest game.
They did that at state?
They did that at state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the first year when they played Milford. I want to say it was like 100 and something to 70, something like that. But it kept going back and forth. Ben Crockett, he's a 6-man legend. He's a phenom. He had one heck of a game that night.
So, you don't know who Ben Crockett is, look it up.
Look him up, yeah.
Yeah.
He comes from a good family. His mom, his dad, his mother taught there at Groom, was a teacher for a little bit. But he's a phenom. But now Ben is a father and working on a ranch, and he loves it. I visit with his mother still when I see her. And he's just happy to has his family and working out there on a ranch.
The thing I love about 6-man is you get one or two just really good athletes.
Yes.
And it can just change the game.
Yeah,
I remember years ago, I think Groom had 8 on that team with Fabians.
Oh, yes.
Jacob,
the youngest.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. When Jacob was on that team, and then Taylor Fields, and that team, that was a great team, and they ended up going pretty deep.
Yes.
That year, and there was only 8 players, if I remember right, on that team. So you're talking about Iron Man having to go both ways. Everybody's going both ways.
Yeah, and the last time Groom we made it to the semifinals, 2020 COVID. I remember that we called that the COVID season, and we went to play. We faced Balmorhea and everybody said that was the true state game because whoever was going to win that game was going to win state. And of course, Balmorhea got it, beat us by 2, and then they had to wait an extra week because I think it was some players from Balmorhea and Richland Springs tested positive for COVID, so they had to postpone the game. And then they didn't get to play at Jerry World. They met somewhere in the middle, and of course, Balmorhea did win that year. But that was another great year, like you said. We have these kids that come in and they're phenomenal players, and it's just
fun to watch.
It is. It really is. It's fun.
It's very exciting. And what's crazy, and you mentioned it, it's 15 yards to a first down. But the other thing that's very interesting about six-man is when you go into the spread look, so the first person that touches the ball after the snap cannot advance it past the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Correct? So what happens is they'll snap it, was it about 6 to 7 yards?
About 5 depends.
6.
Yeah.
And he'll turn around, then he's going to throw it back to what's not really the quarterback.
No, they call it the spread back.
Spread back. That's another 5 to 7. So now you're sitting back a good 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage to an already 15-yard first down. So now you're sitting 25 yards back before, in order for you to get a first down.
And the reason behind that too, because like you said, if the quarterback or the guy that takes a snap takes a direct snap, like you said, he's either got to hand it off or he's got to throw it.
One of the two.
Yeah, he cannot advance past the line of scrimmage. Again, that's why they'll pitch it back to the spread back. Now, here he is. And once he does that, everybody is eligible to receive. Even the guy that snapped the ball is eligible. And speaking of snapping the ball, so Broome, we hosted Booker and Silverton.
Okay.
And the guy that did the snap, Hayden Rosales, he scored 5 of the 6 touchdowns
from the center position.
Because he snapped it, he went out, Silverton forgot to cover him. There he was, touchdown. So he got 5 of the 6 scores Thursday night. So that was a good game too. We enjoyed calling that one.
So it's definitely exciting. I really encourage everybody, if you've never been to one and you got an off week, go catch a game. There's a lot of 6-man teams in this area.
And there is, and I hate to say it, but I go watch 11-man game. I'm like, it's kind of boring. It's kind of slow, And a couple of years ago, I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 years. We got to call an 11-man game. We called Clarendon and Sunray.
Okay.
So we thought it was going to be a great game. And because Clarendon, that was the year, I just went blank. Sunray, the quarterback, the phenom they just had, Lujan. Yeah. Wow, we're going to get to watch him play. And that game, Clarendon come out and scored first. We're like, this is going to be a great game.
That was the last time they scored.
That was the last time that they scored because Lujan went, all out, had a great game. And I remember at halftime, I'm talking to Garrett and we used to get, I'm going to call him Junebug, give you a shout out. It was like 40-something to 7. It was already 45 points over at half. I remember looking at each other, we're like, this is a 6-man game's over. We're going home, but no, we had to stay. So,
yeah. When that happens, you get to stay.
Yep.
Well, good. It's definitely an exciting game, and I really appreciate you coming on and Sixmania.com and all that you do in the area and the cover. Just a lot of coverage, and it really helps bring out 6-man football.
It does, yeah. And we opened it up to people that take pictures. Like so, we've got 2 photographers, 3, or I say 3.5 really, but 2 that constantly are posting photos. Adrian Luna, Summer McCowan, they're always putting stuff up. Adrian handles the Facebook side of it now, but we open it up to all the schools if they have something that they want to post. Hey, put it on there. That's what it's for. It's for all the 6-man.
Well, good deal. Quick recap on some volleyball. Obviously, it's volleyball season around here, and again, Panhandle is very known for that. Randall did sweep Canyon 3-0 this week. Chloe Brown, 13 kills and 12 digs. Just had an outstanding game. And Nevaeh Connor had 10 kills and 9 digs in that game. West Plains stays unbeaten with a sweep over Perryton. And then Cecilia Murillo surpassed 2,000 career assists at West Plains. So congratulations to her. Tampa did upset Hereford in 5 sets this week as well. And then Amarillo High defeated Bushland 3-1. Harper Vaughn had 16 kills, 12 assists, and Kinsler Hansen had 13 kills. So that was a big game. Amarillo High still just doing great things in volleyball for sure.
And speaking of volleyball, here's something that you don't know, but guess what Groom's getting next year?
Volleyball?
Volleyball. Yes.
There are a couple of six-man schools with volleyball, isn't there?
There's quite a few. Miami has it.
Okay.
Fort Elliott. I think who else up here in our part of the world. I can't remember if Follett does or not, but Groom, we have decided we're gonna have volleyball next year.
Well, all right.
So
that's exciting.
Yes.
That's exciting. Well, what are some big matchups coming up with six-man? I'll say an 11-man. Big game going on this week. Bushland really needs to get back on the winning side of things. They've got Dumas at home for homecoming. Now, let me tell you this. So Bushland went to Midland Christian. It was homecoming. We went to West Plains. It was their homecoming. This week, Dumas homecoming. We go to Andrews. It's going to be their homecoming. So I don't know why everybody scheduled homecoming this week. Everybody just says, oh, no. It's just because it fell that way. And I'm like, I'm a little suspicious on that one.
Homecoming, like I said, homecoming has been going on for the last 4 weeks. Groom's homecoming, we had to move it to Happy Halloween. We had to push
That
it
should
a
be
little
fun,
bit.
though, actually. I think
it
that'll
should
be fun.
Yeah, so we had to push it then. But one of the games that this week, Motley County and Booker, Kiowa's. Booker last year had a great year. They had Chase Nelson, that young man could just throw a football. He was great. Julian Barton, one of his receivers. Julian was also one state. I remember, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I know he's either mile or 2 mile because I got to watch him run. I started a track meet at Hart, and he was there, and I'm like, wow, this kid is good. But Motley County, they're on a roll this year. Their starting running back is out for the season, but when I saw the score that what they played last week, they were able to pull off a win. But we'll see. I think that's going to be one of the big games next week. Miami and McLean. Oh. They are going to. I got to watch them when they scrimmage each other, but I think that's going to be. They are Division. No, well, McLean's Division I, Miami's Division II. Miami's in Groom's district. So,
okay.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to remember. That's right. And then we have Boys Ranch and Lubbock Kingdom Prep. Boys Ranch last year. You know how many games they won?
0.
Not a one. You know how many games they won so far?
They're undefeated.
All of them. They're undefeated. Yeah. So that's going to be really good to see. Paulette, Amherst. Paulette had a rough start. They went 0-3, but they did win last week. So that ought to be a pretty good game. Happy Cowboys. I hope, we hope the Happy can be happy because they hadn't won a game yet. So.
It's interesting because if you look at Happy, you look at Paulette. Notoriously, just at least history, those have been some pretty darn good six-man programs for sure. How's Motley County? Because, boy, there for a while, they were just rolling.
Motley County, they did better. 2 years ago, they didn't win a game. I think they won one that year.
Wow.
And last year, they made it to the playoffs. We were able to call one of the ball games. They went and met Klondike, and Klondike won it. But, this year, I think even with the running back, Cully Lawrence out, I think they're going to be okay. I think they should be district champs, and how far they'll go after that, just have to wait and see.
So, Boys Ranch, last year was their first year as six-man, is that correct?
That was, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And this
White
year.
White Deer's been six-man for a few years now.
White Deer's been, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember how far. Groom and White Deer always meet the first game of the season. I like to call it the Battle of the County Championship in both Carson County.
County.
And it always seems like 1 year, it's us, or 2 years we got them. Well, this past year, because we played them first game right off the bat, they got us. But White Deer's got a good team. They Cannon Manier, a great kid. I've gotten to know that young man for the last 3-4 years. Really good athlete that they have over there. And
I know a lot of the schools who are 2As who slip down to that six-man, they really worry. They don't want to do it, right? No. And because it's so different.
Yes.
But I think once they all do it, then I think they like it. Mm-hmm. But it's just tough to say we're going six-man.
Right. And last night I was talking to some folks at a birthday party, and some of these six-man schools, there's a couple that may have to jump back up because of numbers.
Oh. So, they probably don't want to.
They don't want to, but numbers speak for themselves. If it is, they're going to go back up. I know Booker, Coach Bidler, David Bidler up there. I remember talking to him when the first time they jumped down. He says, they were tired of getting beat by Groover or getting, West Texas, Panhandle, all those teams in Spearman. You know, he goes, but our numbers, we didn't have it. We dropped it. And they've been having he's done a good job up there.
Well, I think West Plains has Randall this week. I believe that's correct. I'm going to double check that while we're sitting here talking. But I believe that is the case. Let me check that. Maybe not. That's Canyon. Pampa. Perryton's at Pampa. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Canyon Randall is at Lubbock Estacado. I don't see West Plains. I wonder if they're off. Maybe they are. I might have that wrong. Yeah. Borgers at Dalhart. So we should that for our district, that's an interesting one. So anyway, lots of good games still going on. District plays about to start heating up across a lot of these districts. Some of the smaller districts who only have 4 teams, they still got a couple more weeks of preseason games as well. But those who are in the larger districts, district play is going to start kicking in here in the next week or two. So we're excited to bring those matchups to you as well, and the results of that. Volleyball is really kicking into district now as well. So starting to see that action, and we'll keep you apprised of all of that. Julian will be back next week. Like I said, he's out this week traveling. I think he had to go preach somewhere today. And we're hoping to have some players on here soon. We want to do some player interviews and let them kind of be a guest host.
They'll like that.
Yeah, I think they'll like that as well. So we're excited to do that as well. But once again, thanks for joining us. Tony, thanks for coming on with Sixmania.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it a lot. We go way, way back. I love six-man football. I love to get out and watch it. My boys loved playing it when they played it as well. And well, in fact, I was talking to Trey, my youngest. He says, Dad, I've played every flavor of football. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, I started playing six-man, and then we moved to Arizona, and we played 8-man, and then we came back, and I played 11-man. I go, I guess you have.
Yes,
so there you go. So he's played.
Oh, he didn't play intramural when he was in school, did he?
No, he did not. And Aaron didn't either. So Aaron played intramural basketball, but he did not play that. So, yeah, so that's kind of fun. Well, again, thanks for coming on.
Well, I appreciate this, Chris. I'm like, I got to say thanks to these 2 guys that don't want to get on camera over here. But if it wasn't for those guys, Tim and I would not be where we're at. And if you want to see what we do, go to sixmaniasports.com. I had to throw in a plug in there.
No, for sure.
Check it out. Like I said, we really appreciate the 2 brains over here because, Tim and I, all we got to do is we get in there, we turn on the mic, and we talk. But everything that you see that's on the screen because of these guys, and then also got to thank our sponsors. We've had a lot of good sponsors. Thank y'all, folks.
Well, those 2 guys over there were also in my youth group way back in the day when I was the youth pastor at First Baptist as well. So, way to make us feel really old. But anyway, that's another thing. So, anyway, thanks for coming on. L4 Media, thanks for pushing this out in that Dallas-Fort Worth area. Lots of good followers there. Warrior Garden Studios, just all the work they do, scrambling around to make sure that we're centered, make sure we're in the right spots, make sure we sound good. They can't help us with the looking good part, unfortunately. But, maybe with some AI stuff.
Well, I told them, I said, if they remember, like Johnny Carson used to have back in the day, and I'm dating myself, get that big blue dot, put it in front of the face. That work.
So thanks for that. And big thanks, shout out to Plains Dairy, blueberry milk. It's a hit. My wife says bring it back because she wants to try it. Okay. So we'll be doing that as well. And, hey, so also shout out Plains Dairy. On my way over, I knew I had some chocolate milk, so Plains Dairy, you donated some chocolate milk to our first responders as well. I gave some to some local AMS guys. You're gonna see a picture of that on this broadcast as well. So again, thanks to all of our great sponsors, Plains Dairy, L4 Media, Warrior Garden Studios, for all the support. And we will be back next week, and Julian should be back in this seat. So, but we'll have you guys on again too.
I appreciate it, Chris.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.